What's up, Christ Centered Mental Health community? This is me, David Lee Chu Sarche. I represent Christ Centered Mental Health, the ministry where I talk about mental health awareness from a Christian perspective in order to give you real hope in Jesus' name to the glory of God the Father. Alright, before I get started on this video, I just have a quick announcement for those of you that are new to the channel. Please check out the Christ Centered Mental Health Ministry website. It's www.christcenteredmentalhealth.net. There you can have access to the On Faith and Mental Health blog. You could check out the Statement of Faith. You could find out how to contact me or someone on the ministry team for 24-hour peer support. You could check out the Christ Center Mental Health Ministry bookstore. And you can check out how to support the ministry via Patreon, Venmo, or Cash App. So check it out. It's www.christcenteredmentalhealth.net. Alright, as you can tell, the title of this video is Lived Experience versus Book Knowledge. And the reason why I'm making this video is to address my critics, because it's come to my attention that some people some people think I lack credibility in the mental health field because I don't have a psychiatry degree or a psychology degree. So I just want to talk about lived experience versus book knowledge, because I firmly believe that lived experience plus book knowledge is greater than just merely book knowledge. And in this video, I'm going to give 3 reasons why I think that. Like, I'm not downplaying book knowledge. Like, I study psychology. I read a lot of psychology books, and I keep up on the latest psychological research. So I'm not downing book knowledge, but I do think that lived experience is greater than book knowledge. Like, I have the lived experience. I'm someone who struggles with schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type. So I can understand schizoaffective disorder better than someone who just merely studies it. And that leads me to my first point. Like, the first benefit to lived experience over book knowledge is a much greater understanding. And what I mean by this is psychiatrists and psychologists, they have merely a surface level understanding of mental illness. They based off of their studies, they don't have a deeper understanding on a personal level. For example, like a psychologist or a psychiatrist may understand that someone like me experiences depression episodes and mania episodes, but they don't know what it's like to experience mania or depression on a personal level. They can't identify on that level, like they because they're far removed from it. Um, like another point that I want to bring up is that when you have a much greater understanding of mental illness, it leads you to have much more empathy towards those who struggle with mental illness. Like when you understand someone on a personal level, you tend to care about the person more because you can identify with them. Like psychiatrists, I'm not saying that psychiatrists and psychologists don't care about their patients. I mean, actually, I would argue that that unregenerate psychiatrists and psychologists don't care about their patients. They're just doing it for the money. But like, I think that generally psychiatrists and psychologists, they care enough to the point where they want to treat you, but psychiatrists and psychologists only care to a certain extent because their limited understanding doesn't allow them to identify with their patients. This is why, by the way, I strongly advocate for mentally ill people to be in support groups as opposed to therapy groups. Because the difference is with a therapy group is led by a therapist who doesn't necessarily have mental illness. So they're just really just talking at people instead of talking to them. Whereas in a support group, everybody in the support group, including the leader, has mental illness and they can identify with one another. I've been to both therapy groups and support groups, and I've gotten a lot more out of the support groups than I ever have out of the therapy groups. Um, then the final point that I want to touch on is that when you have lived experience, you're able to touch more lives. And what I mean by this is that when you are able to identify with someone, it causes you to be able to, it causes the person to be able to trust you more, because like when they know that you actually can relate to them on a personal level, they're going to more likely be willing to hear you out and listen to what you have to say. And this is important because of stigma against mental illness, a lot of us with mental illness don't really trust people even if you have a degree. So it means a lot to us when we know that we can trust someone. And the only way to establish that trust is to show that you can actually relate to the person. Anyway, so that's all I have to say. This video is short. Thank you for watching this video. And if you've been blessed by the Christ Center Mental Health Ministry, please consider. Oh no, please leave a like to the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you've been blessed by the Christ Center Mental Health Ministry, please consider supporting the ministry via Patreon. If you support the ministry via Patreon, it'll give you access to a private Discord community for online peer support and fellowship. And it'll also give you access to a devotional on faith and mental health. And for those of you who support the ministry via Patreon for a total of $5 or more, I'll send you a welcome package with my autobiography, my book on faith and mental illness from a biblical perspective 2, my first book on faith and mental illness from a biblical perspective, and my devotional through the Proverbs. So check it out. Like you can find the Patreon in the ministry website, which is www.christcenteredmentalhealth.net. All right, have a good day. God bless you, and stay strong in the Lord. All right, bye.